Hello, welcome to our first Sunday service of the 2021 to 22 Dharma School Year. Our service today is our August and Shotsuki Hoyo service. Service begins with reading of kansho, followed by reading of the August and September Shotsuki Honorees. Then Sensei will lead sutra chanting of Juseige. Then the Dharma School 5th and 6th grade will present the golden chain. We'll hear a Dharma message from Reverend Mukojima, and then we will close our service. Thank you.
Amanda, 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 Today, on this occasion of the Mount View Buddhist Temple's August and September Shotsuki Memorial Service, we come before the image of Amida Buddha to express our sincere respect for and gratitude to the Shotsuki Honorees. As I read the Shotsuki names, please join me in silent meditation so that we may think deeply on their continuing influence on our lives. Kent Abe, George Abe, ジン・アベ、カズオ・アベ、トーマス・アラカキ、マサタロウ・フジ、エレン・フクマ、マサオ・フクモト、ドロセイ・フルイチ、マスオ・ハマダ、ヒロシ・ハルカ、メリー・ハルカ、ロナウド・ヒガキ、マサタカ・ヒラバヤシ、タケシ・ホリ、ミノル・ホリモ、エディス・ホシ、アヤ・イチナガ、ミサエ・イケベ、ジョージ・イケミヤ、アキラ・イナモリ、グレゴリー・イナモリ、アツシ・イノウエ、キヨエ・イノウエ、アサ・イシマル、サトシ・イシマル、ジョージ・イズミ、キミコ・カシマ、シギオ・カシマ、イスメ・カワモト、シナ・キナガ、スミエ・キト、アルバート・小林、トシオ・コーチ、ジョン・コンド、ドリス・クボヤマ、カズオ・クラシゲ、千代美・増田、エレン・松葉、春・松崎、カズオ・前田、吉野・宮本、ケイコ・水原、清子・浦中、角右衛門・長崎、ジョン・長門石、敏夫・中川、エドワルド・中野、ジャニス・中島、マゴジ・中島、アラン・奈良、アリス・西村、富三郎・小田、フランク・尾形、イアノ・岡田、塩子・岡本、稲子・岡本、スタンレイ・岡村、アルフレッド・大久保、つよ・奥村、アルバート・奥野、金一奥野、としこ奥野、千代小沢、エナ小沢、春野斎藤、ハリー酒井、ウォーレン酒井、北尾酒井、結城坂野、文江佐竹、ジェームス佐竹、島野佐竹、ジョージ佐藤、駒新家、久代新太、ナンシー・スミス、スーザン・ストークス、広瀬杉本、サム・杉本、ドラ・鈴木、ジョージ・高木、美智子・竹原、純徳永、ジャック・土田、信子・土田、ヒロ・月村、幸恵渡辺、トム・山地、のりこ・柳葉、秋代山本、由美・横尾、戸太郎・吉田、玲子・吉本。Please put your hands together in gassho to show our deepest feelings of gratitude to this deceased family and friends who have brought us together today to encounter the Buddha Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda, it's
And now the 5th and 6th grade class will present the golden chain.
I am a link in the Buddhist golden chain of love that stretches around the world.
I must keep my link bright and strong.
I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself.
I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that my actions will result in not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also the happiness and or unhappiness as others as well.
May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all obtain in perfect peace.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namaste.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo
Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu. May the world be at peace, and may the Buddha Dharma spread. This is Shinran's wish, which appears in his writing, Lamp for the Latter Ages. Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu Namanda Butsu. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your online participation in our August and September Shotsuki Memorial Service today. I hope you and your family had a great summer and have been staying healthy. Although summer is over, I'm glad that our Dharma school resumes today. Many of us expected the temple to reopen beginning this fall, and really looked forward to seeing our members and their friends in person at the temple. But unfortunately, we are still having a difficulty in dealing with the challenges of a pandemic. We now face the threat of the Delta variant, which is even more contagious. Because of this, the temple board decided to keep the temple closed for the rest of the year. Our responsibility is to protect our Sangha and keep our community safe. I truly understand that many of you really miss the in-person gatherings. I certainly do. But by continuing to attend our Sunday services and the events online, I hope you will still feel the connection to and the oneness with our community and the Amida Buddha. So let's spend lots of happy times online together. Okay? As most of you are aware, yesterday marked 20 years since the September 11 attacks. More than 3,000 people were killed in these shocking attacks. Although this happened 20 years ago, I still remember vividly watching these terrifying sights in horror on TV in Japan. I know there are still so many people who continue to grieve after the loss of their beloved family members, co-workers, and their friends. The September 11 tragedy brought pain and sorrow to countless individuals, but it also changed the entire world. There are peace-loving and law-abiding Muslims living in the U.S. who've suffered from persecution and discrimination because of prejudice and bias of innocent people. So, no matter what the reasons, terrorism can never be justified. After the September 11 attacks, the U.S. began retaliatory bombing in Afghanistan, which also took many innocent lives. It is said that there were more than 4,000 Afghan civilians killed who had nothing at all to do with the September 11 attacks. Both sides claim that their actions were justified. Unfortunately, in war, by its very nature, countless precious lives are taken in the name of justice. Currently, Afghanistan is extremely confused by the anti-government forces which came into power. A few weeks ago, President Biden announced that the US would end its involvement in Afghanistan, a 20 years, the longest war in American history. I sincerely hope that peace and tranquility come to all those living in Afghanistan as soon as possible. In the long history of the world, people through the centuries have committed many faults, and countless conflicts have taken a heavy toll of human lives. Yet, war has never died out. I guess that it is because individual understanding of the meaning of peace is not universal. For the country which wants to control the world, its definition of peace may be a world in which nobody disobeys them. Therefore, the notion that a country which disobeys must be destroyed occurs. It's a very terrible idea. Now, I'd like to introduce Devadatta, who was a cousin of Shakyamuni Buddha. Although Devadatta was Buddha's disciple, he was also an arrogant man and troublemaker who felt that he was superior to the other disciples. One day, in an attempt to take over to the leadership of a Buddhist order, Devadatta encouraged Prince Ajatasattu to kill his own father, King Bimbasara, and assume the king's throne. The reason Devadatta egged Prince Ajatasattu on is that by removing King Bimbasara, Devadatta felt that the Shakyamuni Buddha would also be destroyed. Because King Bimbasara was a protector of Buddhism who believed devoutly in Shakyamuni Buddha, his very existence was an obstacle for Devadatta. So, in order to kill King Bimbasara, Devadatta asked for Prince Ajatasattu's help. Although Prince Ajatasattu did imprison his own father, the king never tried to fight back against his son. Why didn't the king fight back? It was because the king embraced the Buddha's teachings so deeply that he ignored his own pride and chose not to oppose his son. Even faced with death, the king didn't put up a fight because he had attained the level of an arahat. In Buddhism, there were two grievous sins committed by Prince Ajatasattu. The first was the sin of killing his own father. The second is the sin of killing a king who was an arahat, who is a person enlightened through the Hinayana way. Eventually, Prince Ajatasattu did seize power, but he was fearful and suffered in hell as retribution for his crimes. Devadatta, whose deeds were the most terrible, didn't try to embrace the Buddha Dharma, and in his arrogance, welcomed the conflicts. For his grave offenses, he fell into the hell of interminable pain. However, Devadatta is not alone in showing the ugliness of his true self. What this story teaches us is that we who are called the foolish beings in Buddhism all have minds as disgraceful as Devadatta's. we should realize that as human beings, we are always prey to our own arrogance and conceit. If things are unlikely to turn out as we desire, we can justify our actions by taking others' lives to eliminate our challenges. That's why there will always be war throughout the history, because we often cannot recognize our own foolishness and selfishness. Because of this profound ignorance, we created nuclear weapons which keep us in a constant state of crisis, because use of this terrible weapon can destroy our world and everything in it. I found a phrase in the book which really struck me. It was, if the earth is compared to a living thing, humanity is like a cancer cell. These are shocking words, but in reality, people not only kill others out of self-interest, but also destroy and pollute the environment and drive the earth to ruin for the same reason. I believe that with these words, I hope many of you will understand why humanity is a cancer to the earth and all its living beings. In Buddhism, there is a teaching to repay a debt of gratitude. In the great blessing of nature in this world, our lives depend upon the sacrifice of many others. We must repay this precious favor as long as we are alive. I think that the way to best repay these debts of gratitude is to acknowledge the existence of those around us with respect and support. All living beings in this world are precious, but only humans have the ability, special ability, to be considerate of others. We alone possesses a wonderful mind capable of empathy, which is the ability to put ourselves in others' shoes. We have beautiful minds which can share our sadness, joy, and happiness with each other. And these precious minds are capable of self-reflection. It's human nature to make the same mistakes over and over. However, we should realize how important it is to accept our faults and be mindful of how we can correct and atone for them. It requires courage and patience. Although what one person can do alone may seem limited, coming together as a sangha or a community to support one another in the spirit can become a major strength which leads the world in the right direction. Even under the label humanity, we each have our own personality, values, and culture. And in these ways, are individuals who are completely different from one another. Because of gender, nationality, skin color, and ability, we each are unique. But Buddhism also teaches us that all things are interconnected and interrelated. So it is undeniable that each life is a link to many other lives, and ultimately to all other lives. That's why we should never forget this truth. The way we destroy others is the same way we destroy ourselves. The way we accept others with love and respect is exactly the way we ourselves are able to live. Buddhism is a teaching of wisdom, which shows us to respect and understand one another, so that we can see that the world where all people living harmoniously is truly possible. There is a famous phrase in the larger sutra, which is the most important scripture in Jodo Shinshu. It is Hyoga Muyo, Hyoga Muyo, which means there is no need to use soldiers and weapons. This simple phrase teaches us that if the Buddha Dharma spreads steadily throughout the world, there is no need to wage war against others, because people who have the mindset of consideration for others are able to live in peace and harmony. And furthermore, if the Buddha Dharma is shared thoughtfully, many people will fully understand that killing each other doesn't solve anything and is only the repetition of a tragedy. As I introduced in my Dharma talk several months ago, there is a famous phrase in the Dhammapada which goes, "Grudges will never be suppressed by grudges. Only letting go of grudges will suppress them." The Buddha teaches us that revenge only leads to revenge, and so will never end. It's very difficult to let go of grudges, but with the Buddha Dharma or the Nembutsu as our mind's mirror, we should accept our imperfect selves and our shortcomings, and instead try to understand each other. Only by going beyond the grudges can we create a world of peace in which we accept and forgive each other. In closing, I again offer my deepest sympathies to all those who died and who suffered a deep loss 20 years ago due to the September 11 events. I sincerely hope that peace and that tranquility will return to Afghanistan as soon as possible. Let's deeply appreciate Shinnan's sincere wish. May the world be at peace, and may the Buddha Dharma spread. Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation today. Please continue to stay healthy and have a great day. Thank you. Please put your hands together in kansho. The way we destroy others is the same way we destroy ourselves. The way we accept others with love and respect is exactly the way we ourselves are able to live. Namanda Butz 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 Namanda.
Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma message today. Very timely now that we're in a time where we're all remembering the tragedy of September 11th, 20 years ago, and a good reminder of how we should put it in perspective and reflect on things as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists. Following our service watch party, which if you're joining us in Zoom on the Sunday, we will stay live in that Zoom and have 3 parallel events. Sensei will have a Japanese language service. We will have a English language discussion group, and our Dharma School families will have a Dharma School parent meeting. Thank you for joining us today.